Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Become a channel member where you'll get access to all archive videos. Support independent media. Super chats enabled. Super thanks for the replay gang. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Dr. Thunder Music. All one word. Spell out the word doctor. And if you'd like to feed me sandwiches, then all methods apply. Sandwich gang in the building. Sandwich gang. We've got a great show for you tonight. Two Dads React. That's my collaboration with Tony from God Rules. Been best buds since 5th grade. And we're both family men, come from great families. Both sets of our parents are still married to each other. So, that's an unusual thing, but we come from folks that stay together. We came from folks that stayed together. And that's a good thing. You look around and you see a lot of goofy stuff going on. And it seems like people are following the wrong influences. The wrong people. But this is us as two lame-o dads reacting to the stuff that we're seeing in society. We come with a family-oriented Christian perspective, and whatever you think that means. Christian seems to be a bad word these days. Anyhow, today's show, strange things are beginning to happen all over the world. And if you looked at the thumbnail to this video, you'd already know that part of these strange things that are taking place is the DNC, which is happening right now. And guess what? Planned Parenthood showed up. They're offering, they're offering free abortions. And they're offering, it's abortions via medicinally instigated, rather. So, yeah. And they're also offering, what is it called? The snip snip for the guys. And if you didn't know, this is all part of this population control agenda that the Democrats love. Notice all of these, all of this, the LGBT stuff, all of this stuff, the abortion on demand, liberations, sexual liberation, separating segs from reproduction, creating these arbitrary distinctions, and nobody even knows what a woman is. So there's a lot of goofy stuff that's going on, and it is cause to be alarmed. And so we've got a great show, all kinds of stuff we're going to be talking about today. But we're definitely going to be talking about the DNC. We're definitely going to be talking about this monkeypox business. I don't know. Maybe they're going to try to shut everything down again. And I have been wearing my tinfoil hat between episodes. So I am properly tuned in. I am tuned in. So I can give you that righteous spiracy. All right. And we'll be right back with a great episode of Two Dads React. Let's go. Warning. Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. What's happening, man?
Hey, how you doing? Just trying
I'm all
to
right.
put up some links and stuff real quick. So how you been this week? Pretty good?
Yeah. It's well, school just started back for me. So
Yeah. Right.
and then my son starts back school tomorrow. But it's just for one day. They do like a phase in week. The next week is he's full blown, but I started back on Monday. And something that I've said on a few of my morning shows. I've said that, and I can only imagine what the sort of intensity is going to be like on campus with a lot of this goofy election stuff and just wild and crazy, rabid, folks that, with their pushy. Look, I'm just on campus trying to do my job. I don't need to hear,
So is there a lot of that going on your campus?
Well, I didn't detect an unusual amount the last couple of days. However,
Mm-hmm.
I strongly suspect that certain folks will not be able to control themselves when we get to late October. We get to late October, and certain people will not be able to control themselves, and then it's going to turn into probably some goofy stuff. And yeah, just keep that stuff away from me.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed campuses are kind of crazy like that. It looks like there's a lot of people not exactly too happy with who they picked to be their candidate because there's a lot of protesting going on there. I noticed that.
Yeah.
Thousands of it looks like there's almost like hundreds and hundreds, maybe 1,000 cops. I don't even know is a lot. There's a lot of people there, uh, not very happy, and it seemed to be a lot surrounding the whole Middle East thing, right?
Yep.
It
Yep.
seemed like it's the Middle East, and of course, I noticed that this topic, particularly on YouTube, I noticed there's this one channel called the Midas Touch or whatever. Have you seen that one?
Mm-mm.
It's just some dude that doesn't like Trump, and he's all totally pro everything on the other side, perfectly right. And they totally promote him to the top. I mean, he's getting like 25,000 views on his live stream and stuff like that. But the guy doesn't actually really have a lot to say. It's just more of just a hate Trump train type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so obvious that he's being promoted to the top, which is kind of funny. But I noticed that a lot on YouTube. There's a lot of channels that get promoted heavily to the top while other ones don't get any views. It's unfortunate, but that's how it is. But
Yeah, my channel is definitely being shadow banned. It's 100% the case.
well, we're gonna do a live stream on my channel eventually. I got to figure out when's the best time to do it, but I think we'll get more views, of course. But the thing is, though, even with my channel, I'm not going to get it like the Midas Touch where you have 15,000 people watching. You know, I mean, they don't even let Crowder. They pretty much, I think they like pretty much suspended him until the election or something. They always do that stuff every time. So if you want more views, I think you'd have to go to Rumble. Even then, no, I don't think you would get as many. But
yeah, no, I've got a Rumble channel. I'm
yeah, but I
streaming
mean,
on
like
Rumble
with
right now.
but the thing with Rumble is, it's not. It doesn't have the discovery that YouTube has. I've noticed that. I mean, I get views over there, but I don't get nearly as many views as I get on YouTube. And it's almost like
Yep.
you have to get canceled just to go over there, because if you get canceled, everybody just follows you over there and then you get tons of views. But if you don't get canceled, then you don't get the huge views. It's just kind of messed up.
So I have to
like
hope
that.
to get canceled.
Yeah, pretty much.
Man,
You got to
I
get
hope I
canceled,
get
man.
canceled. Please cancel me so I can get views on Rumble.
Yeah, because I put up my links like usual, and we're getting like not as many views. So I'm pretty sure it has to do with this. It's just
It's
kind of
cool.
funny like that.
It's all right. We're okay. We know what the agenda is. Here, check this out. This is one of my I've got a couple on the convention. So let's see this one.
Nobody there, y'all. Look at those empty seats, bro. Look at them empty seats, bro. This is crazy. And these Bamas are lying and running interference for the DNC like a mug.
All right. So one thing that's been said frequently is not only at the DNC, but apparently just in general, when she has tried to do like rallies, if she doesn't have like a bunch of like celebrities and stuff, and if they're not twerking and making it rain and stuff, then she doesn't seem to be able to get as many folks. And the Democrats love the Pookie vote, the Pookie and the 304 vote, and they go hard in the paint for that.
The 304, okay.
Yeah, they go hard in the paint for that, and it's like, well, hey, a vote is a vote. So hey, I guess you shouldn't shame them. Hey, don't knock the hustle, right?
Yeah.
But anyhow, here, check this out. This is sort of something that you were mentioning in your opening remarks there.
Kamala Harris's big week in Chicago, the Democratic National Convention, meant to boost her popularity to Americans and send her on to the White House at the November 5th presidential election. One big problem: protesters. There are tens of thousands of them in Chicago for the 4-day convention. No
There's more people protesting than the people inside. Oh, sorry. Just keep going.
They can put pressure on her and on the White House to do more to restrain Israel, particularly in the Gaza war. In fact, they want an arms embargo so that the US, Israel's biggest sponsor, stops sending weapons. More details, follow 7 News, and of course, watch tonight at 6 o'clock.
No, I don't blame the people on the side of the left. I don't blame them at all. I mean, honestly, I would be upset too if like you just had you had the primaries and they pretty much just kind of bankrolled in Joe and then he just drops out and then Kamala, oh, it's me. You know, I would be unhappy too, man, if I was on that side. You know what I mean? And so I don't really blame them. And also, what is the top thing that Gen Z wants? They want cost of living down. They don't want free abortions. They don't want like, you know, Kamala having a bunch of celebrities around her. They just want to be able to afford stuff. Everybody's at that point now. They just want to be able to afford things, right? And what does she want to do? She wants to put price caps at the supermarket. It sounds great, but the problem is they'll stop selling stuff because these companies aren't going to sell stuff for cheap when they can't make any money, right? So it's just not going to solve anything. And some economists are even saying it's going to destroy the economy. But
speaking of an economist, this guy's not an economist, but he's going to talk about what you just said.
People who support Kamala Harris's latest proposal to enact federal price controls are simply economically illiterate. And let me tell you why. America has actually tried this before. Almost exactly 53 years ago in 1971, then President Richard Nixon enacted price controls to help combat the inflation Americans were suffering through at that point in time. What it led to was ranchers who refused to ship their cattle to markets. They were drowning their own chickens, and customers were actually clearing out supermarket shelves. It caused more problems than it actually solved. Now, Kamala Harris would have you believe that corporations are engaged in corporate greed by charging individuals too much for the goods that we all need. But the issue really is inflation was caused by the federal government. The federal government spends more than it earns, and then all they do is print more money to make up the difference, thereby devaluing the value of the dollar. So it makes perfect sense why Kamala Harris would choose to propose this new plan to try to combat the inflation that her administration has caused. But it goes to show you that it's actually right on brand with Kamala Harris herself. Her own father was a Marxist economist, and it's well known that communism is very much downstream from Marxism. So individuals who don't understand that basic concept, I don't know what it's going to take to help you realize that, but just know that federal price controls sound very good, but honestly have been disastrous every time they've been tried.
Yeah, man. And I don't, you know what, I feel like it's kind of like the when someone tries to be the president at the high school, you know, prom or whatever, they like, or they want to be president in the school or something. They're like, oh, I want to give everybody free stuff, right? It doesn't, it sounds great, but it doesn't actually solve any problems in the school or whatever. And everybody wants a free handout, right? They always want something nice. It sounds great. The problem is it won't work. It's just like when they did the raise the minimum wage, it'll only cause more trouble. It won't solve anything. And there is actually a solution. And I haven't heard either side really say it. I think I heard Trump say it maybe once, but he's not really got behind it at all, to my knowledge, unless I'm wrong. Maybe somebody can tell me if I'm wrong. Just put the dollar back on the gold standard. Then they can't print money and cheat. They can't cheat anymore. And then what will happen is your money will be far more valuable, and all of a sudden you'll start seeing prices go down. That's what they did in Russia. In Russia, they did this 2 years ago in Russia, and now Russia, if you go look it up on Google, Russia's now deemed a rich country. And Tucker went over there like 2 months ago and went to the grocery store, and it cost about a half to a third the cost here for the same amount of food. And it's because they put their dollar or their currency back on the gold standard, so they can't cheat anymore. See, back in the ancient times, during like the Roman times, they had this thing where they would shave the sides of the coin because the coin was made out of silver, and that's how they would steal value from your currency. Now they just print money. And then that's how they steal the value from the insurance. So it's even way worse now because they can just, and back in 2020, they literally doubled the amount of money in circulation, which means basically your money's going to go to half its value, obviously. And so now we're just feeling the effects of this. But the problem was they didn't give the money to us in the stimulus checks. That was just a little small fraction of it. Most of it went to their friends, the GOV's friends, and that's our tax. The inflation is our tax that was basically levied against us to pay for them. And amazingly, most of those people, and this is the thing that really gets you, most of the people that got all the money are the bankers. And guess what the bankers want to do when they go belly up? When the stock market crashes and the banks go belly up, do you know what their plan is now? Their plan back in 2013, they set it up as a bail-in. So your money in the bank, let's say you got $10,000 in the bank, half of that is going to bail them out, and then you'll get stock, $5,000 of stock. So not only did they steal your money from inflation, they're also going to steal your money when they go bankrupt, and they're going to steal your money that's in your bank account. So that's basically what's going on. But of course, they pretend like they're helping you, be like, we're going to put price controls. We're going to give you higher wages. You're going to do jack shit. You're not going to do anything. You're going to just totally screw us. But that's what they're going to do.
Well, I'm good thing I'm broke. You know, my son just turned 11.
I'm broke.
Well, my son just turned 11, and he's eating everything up in the house, and so I'm going broke trying to keep him fed.
My son too. I'm going broke because my son also, man. He's eating everything too.
That's right. So I don't actually have any money in the bank for them to steal from me. So I'm good. All right.
I see a lot of comments like that. You don't got to worry about it. I got negative balance. They can steal my negative balance.
That's right.
Steal my negative balance.
All right. Let's see what this guy's talking about.
You know, there's a reason why I always tell people to do their own research and to always dig deeper into things. And here's an example. Kamala Harris just announced her new economic policy. And one aspect of that policy, the one that I know because I haven't reviewed it all yet, is she's talking about a ban on price gouging to deal with inflation, which flies in the face of basic economics. And I see so many people supporting this without really having a true understanding of this. Let me tell you this, without getting too deep. Inflation is based on supply and demand. Like, that's basically what it is. It's based on supply and demand. And when you tell someone that they are no longer able to price, if you restrict someone and say, you can't charge more than this, without addressing the supply and demand issue, which actually leads to higher costs, you're going to send so many companies out of business. You're going to destroy the economy. You're going to actually lead to higher prices. You're actually going to lead to even more inflation. So people don't really seem to understand this concept. So, I mean, honestly, for me, it's crazy to think that a presidential candidate would propose something like this. I know Elizabeth Warren had some type of a bill on that, I think last year, that's just been sitting there. And I cannot believe that this is something that a presidential candidate is seriously proposing. Bro, the people who have wrecked this economy are trying to sell you on they're going to fix the economy. That's just so crazy to me that people are actually falling for this shit. But hey, this is America. Peace.
So he seemed to be, it's interesting. So both of those guys, they were on different, it was obvious from listening to them that they're on different sides of the political spectrum. One is more left. This guy that we were just listening to, he cited Elizabeth Warren. Okay, so he's more left-leaning. The other guy seemed to be a little bit more centrist, more right-leaning, but they come to the same conclusion. It's the same thing. And so everybody,
too.
Go ahead.
I'm agreeing with you on that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I think people are starting to realize it's like insanity versus sanity now. It's not like left versus right. It's like you're just crazy or you're starting to be more rational. That's kind of the feeling I get.
All right, so what you got for us?
All right, yeah. Well, I got a few things. I don't know if I want to get into that yet. Let's see this. No, not that. Let's see. We had, of course, what's going on at the DNC currently, and wow, there's like no one there. But they want. This is so messed up. I didn't even notice this picture. It's so empty there. But they were offering free abortions and vasectomies. Like, what the hell?
Yep.
Like, dude, why? This is a convention about who's going to be the next, president, right? Why are you doing that? It almost lends to the whole thing that like you guys are doing some sort of weird devil stuff or something, like
something, man.
you need more
Moloch
bodies or
is
something.
hungry.
You need more bodies. You got to get more
What is it?
bodies.
What is it? Moloch? Is it Moloch? Moloch is
Yeah,
hungry.
it's like Moloch or something. Dude.
Yeah, he's hungry, man. He's like he's got to have his fix.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like they're like, we need more darkness to win. We got to have more darkness to win, or something that's like that. I don't know how you can just like sit there and look at this. And I wanted to show another article. It was about, here it is, Gen Z about future as majority call cost of living the number one election issue. This is everyone's number one election issue, I think. Pretty well, not exactly, but this is pretty high on the list for everybody, right? And I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that our GOV did this to us. They did this to us, man. And you have to admit it was Trump that let them do it too. You can't just say it was Biden, because Trump at first said, we're not going to print any money. And then they all begged him, like the entire Senate or something. Like it seemed like everybody was begging him to print money. And, if he would have just stuck to his original ideas, he would have done so much better. But he just kept listening to people and just doing what they asked. And he let them shut down the economy, which he shouldn't have done either, although he had it opened up much faster than a lot of other places. The fact is, he shouldn't have shut it down, period. I think that was wrong. But the fact is, they shouldn't have printed all that money. And since when Biden got in there, day one, he shut down all the new oil drilling that we were doing, the first day. I even had a comment in my comment section where someone said, yeah, I was actually going to go to work that day, and they shut it down. And my boss says, don't even come. They already shut it down. It was like literally the day that he got elected. It was like, I heard it on the radio too. And I'm like, because I think there's two big things they need to do. They need to, and it might sound crazy. I think they need to put the dollar on the gold standard and drill for oil. And I know it sounds crazy to say drill for oil. Why? Drill for oil.
Drill, baby, drill.
Yeah, energy independence. The reason why things cost so much. And you could probably pay off the national debt with it. What's the richest country in Europe? It's one that has a lot of natural resources. I think it's the Netherlands. They have like the highest per capita, they're one of the richest countries in Europe. And it's because they have oil. They have certain natural resources that they use, and it makes tons of jobs. And I mean, I remember back in Alaska when they put the pipeline back in the 80s, there was guys making like $100 an hour back then. They like worked for like 5 years and then they retired for their entire life.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't even know about that, but there's guys that just went up there and worked for 5 years and then they retired and didn't have to work ever again. Those type of jobs make a lot of money, and there's a lot of money in that type of stuff. And with the way our economy is, the amount of debt we have, we're barely paying the interest on it right now. And the way they're running the economy the last 4 years is just terrible. Trump knew how to run it better, and he should have stuck to his guns. If he would have stuck to his original decisions all the way through, it would have been so much better. But he kept letting people trick him. The way I look at it, he just let people talk him into stuff. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. I think he messed up the last year pretty bad, but I think he was pretty good on the first couple of years. But then he got really screwed up at the end. That's
the thing about Trump is, if you want to get Trump to do pretty much anything you want, like pat him on the back a lot, tell him, "Oh, you're the greatest. You'll be the greatest if you do this. You'll be, no one will ever be able to touch your how great you are. No one will ever be able to touch in the history of the world. You'll be said to be the greatest leader of all time. See, that's the problem. That's the problem with a guy like a Trump, is that if you blow smoke, it really works. It really works. That's the problem.
It's unfortunate. It did work. I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
I just hope
they
he got
started
smarter.
Basically, what happened is they started blowing smoke.
I'm pretty sure he got smart.
They started blowing smoke at the end, during the last couple years of his presidency. And so there you go.
Well, he has a lot of rats too, and I think he's going to have to. I mean, if he gets in, he's going to have to really actually be serious about cleaning house, because there's going to be so much problems if he doesn't. It'll probably even if he doesn't clean house, it'll probably be worse than even the first time. He has to just clean out and just clean the deck, man. Because if he doesn't, it's just going to be bad news. And look at the FBI. Look at the Secret Service. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Even the ones that are protecting him, they're like a joke, dude. I mean, you could probably get Norm down the street or whatever to protect him, and he'd probably do a better job. I mean, it's really ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, you could just get random people and they'd probably do a better job than some of these people. Honestly.
Pretty much. All right, let's see here. Okay, so I've got something here. Let's see, what do I got? Okay. So this happened. I guess this was it today or was it yesterday? It was either today or yesterday. I really don't want to have to watch. I don't really want to have to watch the DNC. Like, as much as possible, I'd like to not have to watch it.
You don't like free abortions? And what's wrong with you, man?
I gotta tell you, man, if people don't understand by now that all of those policies are about one thing: population control. Look, all of that stuff is population control. All of the bogus, immoral, degenerate stuff that coming out of the Democratic Party is all population control. It's all based on population control.
Like in Canada, they allow assisted, unaliving yourself, right?
Yep.
Like, your doctor's like, you have really no reason to live. Let's just get rid of you. I mean, that's a really good solution. You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, what the hell's wrong with these people? Like, just get a vasectomy, man. You don't need that thing you're carrying in your stomach anymore. Come on, man. It's like so ridiculous. Like, it's all just really negative, evil stuff, man. And I mean, if you can't see that this is really backwards, I don't know what to tell you, man. This is just the opposite of life. It's just the opposite of happiness. You're just like just getting rid of something precious like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous, man. Anyway, you got a clip here you want to show me, right?
Yeah. So this is we're teasing Joe again. I got to get a couple.
I want him back. I want him back.
Yeah, he was better than what's about to happen if this one gets in. Here we go.
The United States Supreme Court majority wrote the following, quote, "Women are not without electoral or political power." No kidding.
This is from the DNC.
What was he trying to say? I still don't even get it.
He was trying to say women are without electoral power. They're without electoral power. That's what he was trying to say. But he got tripped up on electrical. He started saying electrical.
Well, what is he trying to say? That women can't become president or something stupid like that?
Well, no, he's just basic. It's the, look, it's what's crazy is, again, it's all about population control. It's all about separating segs from reproduction. Any way that you can create an abstract connection or eliminate the connection between segs and reproduction.
Right.
And that's what all of that stuff, all of that social reengineering, all of the...
It's like a mind twist, the way they're saying it. Like, you're losing your freedom, or you're losing your power. Like, they always try to make it sound like it's something you lost. When actually you're doing the opposite. Go ahead.
I'll play it again. Here we go.
The United States Supreme Court majority wrote the following, quote, "Women are not without electrical, not without electoral
engineers
or political power. No kidding.
Look at the guys, dude.
United States or political.
Yeah, I want him back for laughs, man. I want him back instead of Kamala. He's funnier, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll get a few more laughs. Hold up, I got a couple other things here. I've got let's see, what is this? Okay, now let me tell you. See this stuff, and I'm gonna have to apologize right now. There's a little bit of language in this. There's some language in this, but this clip is also going to give me an opportunity to clarify something that folks are they're being willfully obtuse. They're gaslighting the black community when they deal with this. I'll spell out the nuance in a minute, but here, check her out.
I'm voting for Kamala.
Here's Kamala.
Listen to me.
I'm listening.
I don't even give a fuck if y'all think she's the worst choice. She's the dumb bitch.
Oh, so now we're voting for the worst choice. This is definitely gonna be good.
Let's give it a try. Let's try something new.
Let's do it. Yes.
A black woman being the first fucking president of the United States is legendary.
Okay, so she obviously is misspeaking. She's saying what she's trying to say is the first black female president of the United States. That's what she's trying to say. Okay, so we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna unravel that black part. Here we go.
I thought she was Indian.
Yes. You are idiot.
Yes. But how convenient when she pulls the black card to win the black vote.
But I'm black.
Yes.
And I'm proud of being black.
Absolutely.
And I was born black. I will die black. And I'm proud of being black. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
This black Indian coconut just proposed to increase the corporate tax rate because apparently that's going to help the economy. And apparently that's going to help the average American person who is currently barely making ends meet. Stop scamming the American people, Kamala. You know better.
Okay. So let's go back to when she's talking about this one right here is talking about how, she'll be the first black female president. Now, we're going to unravel this. I'm going to give you some terminology, and this is stuff that the political left and the political right don't seem to have enough savvy or something to spell this out clearly and in a way that is not divisive. It's not intended to be divisive, but it is important. Kamala is not black. Okay, now, when people say that, there's two things that they could be saying. They could be saying Kamala is not the phenotype of a black person. In other words, she doesn't have the skin color of a black person. They would be wrong if that's what they were saying, because she obviously has pigment in her skin. So that would be wrong. But there's the real thing that people are saying when they say she's not black is really about where she comes from. It's her lineage, okay? Her mother's
Jamaican, right?
Well, so her mother is Indian. Her father is Jamaican, but not. There are white folks that are Jamaican. So
I remember in Living Color when they would. You remember Keenan Wayans? Is that his name? I think his name is something like that. Shane Wayans. I can't remember the guy. The Wayans brothers, right? Yep. They're like making fun of the Jamaican dude because a Jamaican guy will come to America and he'll have like 5 jobs. Right. You remember? Did you ever watch that? That's like always funny, man. Is a Jamaican? They're pointing out the Jamaican is not like us. He's not.
Well, that's actually so. It's interesting that you say that, because if you are Tariq Nasheed, he's got this thing he talks about. He talks about tethers. What a tether is someone that comes to America, is from the African diaspora, but when they get here, they cozy up with bootstrap bro pathology. In other words, they say, see, we just outwork you. Y'all American blacks are lazy. Y'all American blacks like this. So see, they talk down to that. They cozy up to anyone that will hear them say critical things about black folks, about American black folks. Mm-hmm. But then what happens is, when they find themselves in a pickle, then they want to come back to the black community for their salvation. Say, hey, I was just saying that because, and I didn't really understand, and blasey blasey, right? Now, one of the issues with what is referred to as tethers is tethers don't have the same history as black Americans, right? So when we say black was a replacement for the term Negro or colored, right? And Jesse Jackson moved from black to African American. That's where we got the African American term. But all of that stuff meant the same thing, and that is ADOS, American descendants of slavery, or foundational black American, right? So foundational black American. Now, here's the issue. Here's the issue. When you say Kamala is black, what black Americans think you're saying is they think that you're saying she's Negro, she's American descendant of slavery, that she shares the same history as black Americans, and she does not.
Yeah, I don't know about Jamaica, like how their history was. I'm not sure how that.
Well, they also had slavery. There are Jamaican descendants of slavery, but they're not American descendants of slavery.
Right. Okay.
And so
I don't know. Is Jamaica mostly black? I don't even know, really. I'm assuming.
Well, there were a lot of slaves. There are a lot of slaves.
Bob Marley or whatever. It's about the only.
Right. There's a lot of African diaspora there. But when people talk about this, is she black? Is she not black? That's actually what they're saying. But what the Democrats try to do is they're trying to guilt black people, black Americans, and in particularly black men that see this as a critical issue. And they see it as an issue because she gets in office, she's riding the coattails of her sort of phenotype to get there, but who is she going to actually serve? Is she going to actually do anything for that community? And she has already said that she will not do anything for that community, and she's also done billions of dollars worth of specific things for the AAPI community, which is the community that she most identifies with.
AAPI,
Asian American Pacific Island.
Oh, so she's Indian. Okay, so she's Indian. So she says she's black, but she's actually Indian, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so I think she does have some,
because my wife's Asian, but
so look, I think her she has some I think it's likely that she has some African lineage from her father's side. I've seen footage of him. He does look like he has some African features, so I don't doubt that. But even if she was 100% African, she still is not ADOS, American descendant of slavery. And that's a specific population, used to be called Negro, a specific population that has a specific history. And
also,
so
you said she's not interested in helping them either, right? You said she's not
right. Well, she said specifically she's not going to do anything to just help black people. She specifically said that. She said that before the first election.
Well, at least she's being honest. She's not lying to you like some of the other ones have done in the past, which is just flat out lie to you. We're going to do something, and they don't do anything, right? I mean, I guess there's that factor as well. It's a little bit, I mean, honestly, it's a little bit better than them lying to you saying we're going to do something and they do nothing, right?
Yeah.
So, at least then they're honest. You can at least give them 1 point for honesty, but negative 10 points for not helping or whatever.
So, and I know people don't like to talk about race and stuff, and they think that that's, why can't we just be a colorblind society and all this kind of stuff?
Well, no, I think you can be.
Yeah, well, I think you can acknowledge.
You can, but you can't. It's like two things. You can just interacting with people, but you can't when you're talking about traditions and your culture and all that kind of stuff.
Look, it is a factor, and in particular, when you talk about the history of this country, there was a population of people, and it's a specific group, and the government has been, especially the Democrats, have been playing fast and loose with this term black as a coalition builder. So then they will invite in anybody that has pigment, and they'll say, hey, this is the black community. But the problem is that there's no way for you to actually service the needs of a community that is so diverse, right? So at least when you say, hey, the black community, and you're talking about the 40 million ADOS, American descendants of slavery, you can address specific things that have plagued that community. When you start talking about Nigerians and Jamaicans and other folks, I'm not saying that we shouldn't do things to help people, but you understand that you'd have to do different things to help that community than the Black American community.
Way different backgrounds. Nigerians have I had a friend as a Nigerian at my old workplace. His name was KK Echo, and he was telling me, you have to be careful around Nigerians. He's a Nigerian telling me to be careful around Nigerians. He's like, he says, if you go to Nigeria, they're trying to get you to give money to them every 2 seconds. They'll try to help you out. Like, oh, give me some money. This is what he told me. He just told me they're kind of like that in his country. So it's a completely different culture. It's nothing like, what I mean? Like, just because they have the same color skin doesn't mean they're anything like you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's way different.
And so what's interesting with this is
it's like Russians and Americans. They're way different too, So,
well, when you hear the arguments that are being used, people will say stuff like, well, she's black because the one drop rule. Well, here's the problem with the one drop rule. Okay, that's patently racist. The one drop rule was actually a rule by actual white supremacists that were trying to keep their race pure. And so that's why they invented this one drop rule, right? If you have one drop of black blood, then you're esteemed black. It's actually patently racist. So people that you are trying to use that as a way to say, hey, you should be ashamed of yourself for pointing out the fact that she is not from the ADOS community. So look, what really should matter is what it is that she's saying. That's the stuff that matters the most. It's her policies. Would her policies actually help? And since she has specifically said that she's not going to do anything in particular for the black community, why is it that without having any policies, you go to her website, she doesn't have any, you don't know what her policies are going to be. You don't know what her platform is going to be. Without having any of that stuff, the black community has lined up behind her to support her. And she has said that she's not going to do anything for that community. People will cite stuff like she's a part of the Divine Nine. She's part of a black sorority. See, that means she's black. No, there are white women and Asians in the sorority she's in. Or they'll say, she went to an HBCU. There are all kinds of folks that go to HBCUs. That stuff is not enough to suggest that she belongs to that community. Now, she maybe has cozied up to that community, and she may have relationships with people from that community. But when you look at her life choices, the choices that she's made, they're not the kind of choices that you would expect someone that had strong allegiance to the black community, the Negro community.
So asking her though, why did she say how did she say she's going to help the Asian community? What did she say?
No, she didn't just say she was going to do it. In 1 year, to the tune of $26.4 billion grants in other specific financial things for the API community. Yeah, so she's done specific things.
Is that Indian or is that just Asians?
It's all of them.
What is that?
Well, when you say Asian, Indian is part of Asian.
So you're saying when you say you mean grants or scholarships and stuff, or what?
Yeah, in business, business grants, business funds.
Well, that tells you where her allegiance is. I mean, because I don't, I'm not saying a lot of Asians tend to. I don't know, man. That just seems kind of weird. Especially if she's saying that she's black, she should be like kind of on both sides. If she's half and half, then she should be for both. But it sounds like she's made her allegiance more so on the Asian side from what you're saying.
Yeah. And look, and I'm gonna say this too. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna say this.
That's a lot of money, dude. That's a lot of money. What you just said there. What was that? Billions?
26.4 billion.
That's a lot, dude.
Billion with a B. So
that's quite a bit.
Man,
your camera's got kind of a weird focus going on. There you go. Yeah, okay, so I get what you're saying, man. I haven't really looked into that a lot. I haven't even looked into her much other than the price controls, because she didn't have for even it's been only a very short period of time that she's had anything put out there policy-wise. Mm-hmm. She pretty much had a blank slate. And then last week, she had a blank slate. Now she all of a sudden says price controls, which is a really stupid, bad idea, because it's just going to make it so everything's scarce and very difficult to buy, because no one's going to sell something for too cheap because they're not going to make any money. So it's a bad idea all around. But I'd like to see them make a real solution, like put the dollar back on the gold standard. Then we can't get cheated out of money with inflation anymore. Then things will go back to normal with pricing, right? But you know what? I have a funny feeling they're not going to do that, because they have their friends in high places that want that money. They want to siphon the money off from the poor or the poorer. They want to siphon. They want you to own, of course, nothing, and at the same time be happy. Just like that bald dude from the Economic Forum said, "You will own nothing," and at the same, of course, he's got like that evil German accent while he's saying this stuff. I mean, it's really ridiculous. And so it's not like you can't say this wasn't told to us. They told us this 7-8 years ago. And they're doing it, and it's just a weird coincidence that money is now being inflated. It's not a weird coincidence. They know exactly what they're doing. They pretend they play dumb. They play dumb like, we don't know why this is happening. Right. But they actually know exactly what they're doing, and are just lying to you. So do you trust people that lie to you? Because that's what they're doing, right? They're lying to you.
Yeah.
Now, I'm really curious what Trump would think about putting the dollar back on the gold standard. Putin did it. He did it. And if everyone says he's evil, vile person, but he actually apparently cares about his own people enough to do that, why can't they do that here? I mean, maybe he is a bad person. Maybe he does. I've heard stories of poisoning and stuff like that, and I've heard he doesn't exactly allow free speech there, but it seems like he at least cares about his own people. You know what I mean? That's kind of different. Why is it our government doesn't seem to care about us at all? Like they pretend like they do, but they don't.
And by the way, and also Barack Obama was also not ADOS. He was not American descendant of slavery, because his father was a foreign
background.
Yeah, no, his father is a foreign national, right?
Oh no, he was from another country too. That's right. His dad was.
His father was a foreign national. His mother was is a white woman. Okay, so he also is not ADOS. What we would call ADOS. So they play fast and loose with these terms as a way to try to get actual black people, American descendants of slavery, to get them to play ball and to line up behind the people that they want. But then it turns out that they actually are not representatives or closely related to their community. And so then when they don't actually do things specifically for that community, you kind of understand why, because that's not their community.
Well, his mom was American though, right?
His mother's a white woman.
Because he seemed like more like an American to me than she does.
No. Well, let's put it this way. With Obama, at least I will credit him for identifying as a Black American the whole time.
Yeah, I feel like he really identified more. Right.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
But
yeah, that's true.
But again, if you go from a well, here's the other thing too. I think Michelle Obama was the first Black woman that he dated. He was dating white women all prior to that.
Okay, yeah. And then, well, some say that she was the one running the White House. I don't know. So maybe we did have a Black woman president. I don't know.
Right. So
I think it was the case definitely with Hillary. I don't know about Michelle. Michelle, maybe it wasn't that way, but I don't know.
All right, let's see what this one is talking about.
Everybody's telling me how worried they are, but I'm a little excited.
Oh, Madam VP Harris, I'm worried about the election.
I hear your concerns, Taraji. I hear them. Because, look, we all watched the television coverage of just yesterday. And, that's on top of everything else that we know and don't know yet, based on what we are able to see.
What?
And just because we've seen it, it doesn't mean it hasn't happened. But it's just limited to what we've seen. And,
that's a word salad.
That's bars.
Now, you do know this is a comedian, right? This is not.
Yeah, I know it's not her. I mean, she looks Asian. More Asian.
Yeah. Well, now, she just... I actually think that this woman
What is she? Mexican or...
I don't know what she is, but she's just very talented.
Filipino.
Look, she's just very talented. She's very talented. She did something with the makeup, with the hair, and she's just very talented. So she's nailing all of her sort of mannerisms.
And just because we've seen it, it doesn't mean it hasn't happened. But it's just limited to what we've seen. And
that's like a contradiction.
That's bars.
Our basic freedoms are being tested.
Girl, I'm on these streets.
Madam VP.
I know. It's a lot to decipher. Let me know if you figure it out.
I know you've been traveling across the country.
Traveling is essential in this
administration. She has been on the streets in some ways.
I've been everywhere.
What'd you say?
She has been on the streets in a certain way, but not the way people are thinking.
Right.
Traveling is essential in this administration. I've been everywhere, but the border, in order to pass the time throughout the passage of time.
What are you hearing?
Oh, you can hear that, huh? Yeah, well, don't worry about the background noise. That's actually Jill making Secret Service scoop Joe's shit with their bare hands. She's been a nightmare recently. I'm a little afraid of her.
They not.
No, they really are, I'm telling you. Why would I make that up? I swear on Joe's life.
A little comedy. She's nailing her pretty good though. Here, okay, so let's segue into this other thing. So monkeypox, we talked a little bit about this. Let's see what they talk about.
Monkeypox cases just keep rising no matter where you are. In Pennsylvania, the CDC says as of Friday, we were only 2 cases away from 300, and we're likely to cross that mark once the CDC updates its data this week. Now, Friday was also the day we broke that news that an employee at UPMC Children's Hospital tested positive for the virus. Good evening, I'm Christine Sorensen.
And I'm Kim Gable. That case, one of at least 42 in Allegheny County. The employee works at an outpatient clinic at Children's. And the health system spent the weekend contacting patients and staff who may have come in contact with that worker. And then over the weekend, we alerted you there was a case at a camp in Beaver County.
And that has many parents wondering, what does that mean for their kids as they prepare for school? Chris Hoffman spoke to doctors today to get answers. Chris.
Christine and Kim, at this point, it's still not being told to us whether this was a camper or a staff member, but doctors believe the virus should not run rampant through schools and the cause of the problems we have seen, like other viruses, like COVID. According to the YMCA of Greater Pittsburgh, there was a confirmed case of monkeypox at Camp Conakry Spencer in Marion Township, Beaver County.
All right, so
Oh my goodness.
you wonder if they're trying to get back in so that they can do
The
mail-in.
timing is so perfect.
Yeah.
Didn't they do it right before school last time? Wasn't it like exactly before school? And it's like right in time for school. It's like, oh, we gotta stay at home now. Oh,
No, it was at
stop
the end of
economy
school.
again.
No, it was at the end of school,
Or was
right?
it?
It was at the end of the
Was
school
it?
year because so what was
Okay.
it?
Well, it depends how many times we're talking about because they would always have a new variant, dependent. I think they had different variants.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, we got new variant. Yeah,
Okay,
but I
this
mean,
is-
it's just like so predictable, man. It's so predictable they're gonna do that. Like I was predicting that already, like 5 months ago. They're gonna do this.
Yeah, right at the beginning, and the elections here. Yeah, there's a lot of potential for some weird stuff to go down.
No.
Here we go.
The monkeypox is already here in the United States. They found it 3 days ago in San Francisco's wastewater, and the spread of monkeypox is now being categorized as a global health emergency. For those of you who didn't know, monkeypox is a virus that is spread through close skin-to-skin contact, which means we ain't shaking hands no more. Keep your hands to yourself. Here are some of the symptoms associated with monkeypox. So it starts out with a fever, very low energy, swollen lymph nodes, as well as body aches. Also, within 3 days, a rash and sores develop like throughout several parts of the body. The rashes can look like pimples or blisters that are painful and itchy to the touch. And although you didn't ask, I'm gonna tell you how they test, okay? They put a swab up your behind. A swab up your. Also, according to the World Health Organization, alcohol-based hand sanitizers and alcohol-based cleaning products can effectively inactivate the monkeypox virus. So when you go to the grocery store, carry your little Clorox wipes. Disinfect that shit. When you go to the gas station, disinfect. Carry your hand sanitizer, carry your Clorox wipes. Please, y'all, stay safe, limit contact, and clean your hands often.
I got a solution, man. I can stop the virus right now. All you got to do is turn off your phone and stop watching the news, and it'll stop it right away. It's really cool.
Oh, that's right. There you go. Okay,
I got the solution to the virus, man.
Okay, so I'm going to digress a bit. This is on the this is actual video footage of this Planned Parenthood chop shop on wheels. Oh, I shouldn't call
At
it
the
that.
DNC.
That's in bad
DNC, right?
taste. That's in bad taste. I probably shouldn't call it that. They said it's medical. It's just a pill. You take the pill.
And you're planning your parenthood, so it's a really positive thing. You're planning. Your
It's funny.
parenthood, right?
So here, check this out. You remember, like on my. So just take a look again at the thumbnail for today's show, and you see here where it says, here we come Chicago, our mobile health clinic will be in the West Loop with Chai Abortion Fund and the Weiner Circle, August 19th to the 20th. Now listen to how they frame this. Providing free vasectomies and medical abortion. EC will also be available for free without an appointment. Right? And again, we were going to our mobile health clinic. How is it health to just be providing, giving people a death bill, and then
Isn't it
also
like 1984? You say the word freedom, it means slavery. Like that. Like health means health is like death now or something. You know what I mean? It's like that. It's like the word means the exact opposite of what they say, right? So planning your parenthood. You got to plan your family at all place.
Right. You're not planning your parenthood. You are eliminating your family. You're
Exactly,
what the crap, man?
You're planning nothing actually. You're unplanning your parenthood.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, It's pretty bad, dude. It's like it's a death
Death
van or
cult.
whatever.
Yep.
I don't know, man. Something. It's
All right,
it's
here,
the
here,
opposite of what it says.
let me play this. Let's see. All right. And this is crazy, man, because this is right at this is at the DNC, man. Why do they need this outside the DNC, man?
It's right next to the food truck too. You know, you can get some food and just go over there and do that next. You know? Okay, that was a bad joke. All right. Plan. There's actually a lot of people going in.
Hey, wait a minute. Is that guy going in there to get his free snip?
Yeah, it's
oh, wait a minute. How many of them? No, that's a woman. So, but then this is a guy right there.
You might be misgendering them too. You never know, right?
Oh, that's right.
You never know. Don't you know men can have babies? Come on, man. You already know that.
All right, let's keep going.
It's like, why just not create the right seats? All they had to do was increase the zone where the journalists could work and set the seats back a little further, and then everyone would have been fine.
Okay, and then there's that big thing. That's an IUD. You know, that's a, birth prevention. Again, it's this. They're seeking to eliminate the connection between sex and reproduction. They're trying to make this abstract thing. So you can just be out in the streets, you can be wilding, and then it's easy to justify other forms of sex that do not lead to reproduction. Right? See, that's how they do it. That's how you get in the doorway, and then it's easy to just get that door all the way open. And of course,
that's what leads into the immigration too, and the reason why you saw what happened to Britain.
Yeah,
you saw what happened in Britain, right? Where they're having like massive protests there and stuff, because they bring in like you were saying, culture matters. You bring in a culture that has nothing to do with England. And they're not going to act the same way as a Britain person. And this is the thing that people don't understand. So like if you have your culture established in an area, and then you bring in a huge different culture, it's going to change everything around. It's not going to be the same place anymore. Everything's going to change, and maybe things will get worse. Maybe they'll get better depending on what kind of people they are, right? You never know. But the way they're doing this, they're like allowing people come in that are not legal. And it could be anybody. It could be a criminal, whoever coming in. It could be even worse than that. It could be people that want to get rid of America. They could be from, China or Russia or whatever, come in and they're planning something, right? You don't know. And that's what people don't think about. They think that, we just need to let them all in. What if they don't want to be a part of America? What if they want to destroy it? You never think about stuff like that. Because there's like thousands of Chinese that came across the border too. And they never ask themselves, well, what do they want to do here? What if they're planning something, right? You never know. So those things are a big deal.
I mean, you have to, in order to actually have a country, you do have to have a border. You do have to have, in these, you have to have sovereignty. Sovereignty means borders. So, I mean, that's what, and so you have to be able to vet people that come in. And I'm not suggesting that there should be no immigrants coming in. Yeah, let's have immigrants.
Bring the good ones in, man.
Yeah, but in order to know that they're the good
ones, a degree or something, bring them in. They'll be making jobs. I mean, whatever.
In order for you to know that they're the good ones, you have to vet them. They have to come through, the right way. So that's that's all that people are saying, and all of this illegal activity disproportionately impacts the Black community. We know that this is happening, and part of the reason why they don't care What'll let you know that they don't actually care about the black community is that they don't do anything to fix that problem.
Yeah, because I was thinking that 4 years ago. I'm like, they're taking black jobs. They're taking white jobs too. They're taking a lot of jobs. They're taking just jobs that, and I do actually think that, I don't have a problem with Mexicans coming over here legally because a lot of them are really good workers. But the fact is, though, when they're coming here illegally, they're taking jobs that could be offered to somebody that lives here already.
Yeah. So. And we have to clarify what we mean when we say that, because what somebody will try to do is they'll try to do the one-dimensional thinking, and they'll say, "Oh, nobody wants to work for those, cheap wages. Y'all don't even want those jobs." See, that's what they try to do with that. But see, what happens is if you eliminate these folks that are coming in, and then these companies are able to pay them pennies on the dollar. If you eliminate that work, and then you make the companies have to actually pay what the legal rate would be, then what's going to happen is you're going to end up with more people, more Americans in those jobs, because they can't hire these people that are pennies on the dollar. Now, that's not going to happen immediately. It doesn't happen immediately. But when you shut it down, it'll take a few years for it to actually start affecting things. But you shut that thing down, and that actually is going to, create certain kinds of jobs.
And there are some companies that are very, even though I said that making companies have price caps and all this stuff, I mean, there are companies that do really price gouge. I mean, there's like Apple. They even try to stop people from being able to fix their own Apple products, and they charge ridiculous prices. You got like Nike, which they go make their stuff in Indonesia for very cheap, and then they come over here and sell for $300. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there is stuff that is price gouged out there. Don't get me wrong, but there are other things that are not price gouged, and food is one of them that's probably not price gouged, because they don't usually make a lot of money on food. Matter of fact, Walmart doesn't want you to buy the food. They want you to buy the vacuums and all that stuff because they make more money. But I mean, but price controls is not going to work because the government's really not smart with business anyways. They would price control everything across the board, and it would just screw everything up. I mean, and then on top of that, things change all the time. Prices of things, materials, everything fluctuates. The best thing to do is just put the dollar back on the gold standard and not allow these elites to cheat anymore that are at the top. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, goodness. Freaking. Oh,
the blue moon topic. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I see some of these comments here. Oh, yeah, dude.
Here, one second. Let me play the rest of this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is almost over. Okay, so that's over. And I've got this one last one here. Now this is bonus. So let's have you talk on some stuff. This is okay. Bonus content
All
here.
Right. I got something here. Oh yeah, so of course this is interesting with Elon Musk and Twitter. So back last month, they offered a secret deal to censor Twitter, claims Musk. And then EU will ban X if Musk does not implement limiting of people's being able to speak there. And this all comes back to, and now it had to do with mainly England and all the protests there and stuff. But you can see what's going on here is you have all these different social media giants, and they were all in lockstep with each other. And then you got one guy, this Elon Musk out here, that bought his own Twitter, now called X. And they don't like the fact that people can actually say what they want to say over there. And they're trying to, so that it makes it very obvious, this whole, this is actually an important thing that Elon Musk did there. I don't think people really understand this, because if you go over to England right now, if you put on Facebook right now that you don't like these people coming in across the border illegally there in England and are causing all this ruckus, if you put that on Facebook, they'll come into your house and arrest you. I saw them kicking doors in. You got like grandma sitting there on the couch. She put some Facebook post on, and they're literally kicking down the door. In America, you can't do that. You can't just kick someone's door down, right? You know what I mean? This isn't, unless you got like a warrant and they're like a criminal. a Facebook post. They're actually letting out the actual criminals from prison right now in England, and they're putting people that put stuff on Facebook in prison. Like, what? You let out the guy that, like, you know, robbed some place or, you know, attacked somebody. You let them out, and then you're putting in the Facebook posters on into the jail. It shows you that they don't want you to be able to say what you want to say anymore. And I think America, if Elon Musk wouldn't have bought Twitter, I think it'd be even worse right now. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't understand this. We wouldn't be able to say certain things online. And you're seeing this in other countries like England and other places right now where they're basically stopping you from being able to say certain things, put you in jail actually for things. I mean, it's really ridiculous. Can you imagine you put up a comment here on our video and then someone comes in and kicks your door down and arrests you for it? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's almost not that far-fetched anymore.
Yeah, people don't understand that. And they're actually saying this, they'll ban him from the entire country. And this guy's locked in with Macron. Now, Macron is France. Remember, the Olympics was in France. Mm-hmm. Their opening ceremony mocked Christ. Their closing ceremony was like a satanic thing. And then on top of that, some of the you had different athletes banned from putting Jesus on this guy on his surfboard. And then there was a lady that was a skater that wanted to talk about her faith. They told her she couldn't speak about her faith, so she sign languaged her faith. So basically in France, they're trying to take away your ability to even talk about Christ, like, at all. And so this is, I mean, if you can imagine this, so this is happening in some of these countries right now over in Europe. And of course, Europe is farther ahead than us, but I think we're getting a little bit smarter now, now that we have a couple of big social media that are separated from the main ones that are all lockstep with each other. We also have, what's interesting about Facebook is you also have Mark Zuckerberg. I don't think he's in control of it anymore, is he? Mark Zuckerberg? Is he in control of Facebook anymore?
I think so.
Yeah. He owns it, or he owns part of it, but I don't know if he actually is in control of it. Maybe he is. Let me see here. Facebook CEO. Who is it now? It is Mark. Okay. That's kind of weird. That's very strange because he came out pretending like he wasn't going to, he was kind of complimenting Trump, but then he said, I'm going to be in the middle this time around. But yet at the same time, he lets people that put up Facebook posts get arrested. So they're clearly giving them information in England. So this guy is obviously a fraud. I mean, he's just will do whatever they tell him to, I think. Mark Zuckerberg there. He also has a very huge fence around his property, yet he was against the border, which is kind of funny. And he also has
they were saying that they were saying that about the DNC conference.
Gun ownership too, and he has all these guys guarding him with guns, It's just funny.
Yeah, they were saying that about the DNC too. So like all of the protesters and stuff, they've got guys with guns out there making sure that protesters don't get in. They have a clear border.
Right.
But some of that stuff is just totally ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, are you so you know border folks, do you lock the door in your house at night? Do you expect people not to come into your house?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if they do, what are you going to do?
Probably knock them out with a bat or something.
No. No violence, no guns, none of that.
Yeah, man.
See, stuff doesn't work. It just doesn't work, man.
Well, you heard about Canada, right? One of their police chiefs was saying, just put your key by the front door. So if they break in, just let them break in and take your key so they can get in and take your car. Okay. So just let them do it. That was a story. I think that was like a few months ago. That was in Canada. It's like, really? I'm not going to do that, dude. Because I don't think that I think they're limiting in certain parts of Canada gun ownership and stuff like that as well. Right. And protection.
Yeah.
So,
I was thinking about this too. Like there's a lot of and it just shows that they don't actually know anything about guns, but they talk about guns because it's like a political benefit for talking about guns. gun confiscation, or about further background checks, or more regulations on guns, or you need to let make it illegal to get bullets or something beyond a certain number of bullets, or what, all this kind of stuff. And they keep calling an AR-15, they keep calling it an assault weapon. And it's like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Assault means automatic. It means you hold the trigger and it just keeps shooting. That's an assault weapon. That is not what an AR-15 is. And if you really want to get blow up a conversation, get in a conversation with some liberals and start talking about how you want to buy an AR-15. I'm about to buy an AR-15 for home protection. I was like, why do you need all of that?
It's okay if you're in Antifa. They have them, right?
Right.
Dude.
Why do you need all of that? I'm afraid of that. It's like, look, man, I don't know what to tell you. You guys are.
You grew up with bows and guns. You actually did. You said you did some competitions too, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, target shooting stuff. I mean, I did that, and but this. See, I don't like. I never wanted to kill anything, so I didn't do any hunting.
Did you actually do competitions too?
I think I did some archery. I did some archery competitions.
I didn't even know that about you, man. And I grew up around you.
Yeah, a lot of folks didn't know. Yeah. A lot of folks that didn't know that I did the archery thing.
I knew you did equestrian. I knew you rode horses. My dad used to do trap and skeet competitions, shotgun.
Oh, that's killing.
Yeah, I used to go out with him once in a while and do that. But he's pretty good. So.
Yeah, my dad did some does some skeet stuff every once in a while. I don't know how.
Was he really? Your dad?
Did it. Yeah, I mean, there are guns all around the house. They were not locked up. All of us knew where they were.
I remember seeing one in your house. I think I remember seeing. Was it a bow and arrow or a gun? I remember something in the back. I remember seeing something once.
Yeah, well, the thing is that if you teach people to trivialize guns, then that's where the danger is. If you teach them to respect guns, and you say, "Look, here's the gun. Here's how you hold it. Here's how you clean it. You never point this side at anybody. Here, let me show you how to shoot it."
I took a class on it. I remember taking a class on it.
But when you do all of that stuff, kids they lose the sort of, ooh, let me go find the gun and do some weird stuff. Let me go get some stuff I'm not supposed to have. They lose all of that. So in our neighborhood, there was never, and probably everybody had a gun in their house. Probably in our community, so almost everybody. And there were no accidental shootings. None of that stuff went down, right? So
I don't remember hearing about any.
Right. So it's just like, it really has to do with how you socialize.
In the back of their truck too, even. I don't know, man. I think I remember seeing at least one or two people. I know. I think in Michigan though, that was kind of illegal after a while, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure that got illegal pretty quickly. But I know some states allow it. We have the gun in the back in the truck. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's a lot of different laws. I'm not like a big guy into this stuff. I mean, my dad is. He's really into it. But yeah, I mean, I'm into the fact that we need to have them and be allowed to use them. I mean, 100% for protection or for sport or whatever, right?
My son just turned 11, and when he was still 10, this is just a couple weeks ago, when he was still 10, he shot a rifle for the first time.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was with my dad. My dad showed him how to do it, showed him how to clean the gun, showed him how to respect the gun, and all of that. And see, the thing is, and that's how you do it, so that you're not creating some sort of fear like this. It's like an irrational fear that
Right.
some of these liberals
It's
have.
more of an
guns.
emotional thing. It's like an emotional ignorance or something. And I think they like to play off that stuff, you know, like, oh, it's scary and bad. You know what I mean? Like, of course, someone has to have one. A cop has to have one, right? If they want, you want protection around you, right, Congressman?
And
Somebody's got to carry it.
And look, and before people think that I'm slandering liberals by saying that, I know a lot of liberals that tend to be that way, but my dad's a liberal. He's been a lifelong. He's a lifelong. He's been a lifelong Democrat.
Yeah. That's right. But yeah, your dad was a Democrat. He worked for the government too, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't a politician. He was just
No, not a politician. He was a bureaucrat.
Right. Yeah, but he was a Democrat. I knew that. But he's like, your dad's a smart guy, though. He has a high IQ too.
Yeah, and also a lot of the goofy stuff that's going on in the social reengineering, he's not down for that. But he sees stuff from the right, in his estimation, is more dangerous than the stuff from the left in a particular way. And since he had, dealing with politics from the inside, he saw a lot of stuff that I'll probably never see, and it was a different time.
Well, yeah, it's way different back then. When we were younger, there wasn't a lot of difference between Republican and Democrat. And also, the Democrats back then are pretty much Republicans now, or actually probably the Republicans now are not even, they're probably worse than the Democrats back then. I don't know.
Well,
man.
I would still argue that there was still significant difference, but I would also argue that what we call a progressive now or Democrat now would be like a freaking like weirdo back in those days. Like
it wouldn't be a normal Democrat back in the day.
Yeah.
My grandma was a Democrat, I remember she told me she voted for Bill Clinton because she thought he looked nice. And I'm like, really? That's the reason you voted for him? She wasn't a super, super high level thinking about stuff. She just like, oh, I like that. That's kind of how she was. But she was like a lifelong Democrat too. My grandma was. So my dad tried to convince her. My dad's a Republican. My dad's trying to convince her, and you can never convince her. You know what I mean?
Hey, somebody, I don't know if this is a troll or if they're just making a joke. They said, they're saying, here it is. Here, I'll put it on the screen. This is funny. He says, every arrow kills at least hundreds of microscopic life forms.
What? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if I really care about microscopic life forms, but okay. There's like trillions of them.
Okay. So here's the bonus. Here's our bonus for today. This is about Rod Parsley and his daughter. And this is I live in Ohio, so the church that Rod Parsley pastors is in Ohio, and so I know folks. Yeah, and
he's a white dude, right?
Yeah,
white dude.
And I know folks that go to this church. I know people that have worked at this church as musicians and whatnot. So, anyhow, but this is interesting. Let's go ahead and hear what this guy's got to say.
Pastor Rod Parsley and his daughter are a really gross team.
Some of you came and you ate and you left your dung, and you've done nothing to reinvest in the vision. You're a reprobate.
I don't know about you, but this spoiled, entitled brat reminds me of something.
I want you to be the first to find the golden ticket, Daddy.
I know, Angel. We're doing the best we can. I've got every girl on the bleeding staff hunting for you.
All right, where is it? Why haven't they found it?
Apparently, the Pampered Princess is mad at you because you won't give her y'all money. And because you won't invest in the vision, y'all are reprobates. Apparently, there are people who disagree with Rod Parsley and his thinking, and they are offended that you have the audacity to think for yourself and disagree with their politics.
I didn't think that political political persuasion and what side of the aisle you find yourself on mattered when it came to what God said.
First of all, none of y'all know what my politics are. Not one of you.
Yeah, we do. We know your politics. You're hard right-leaning, like most of the evangelical church in America today. They like that hypocrisy in the heart. See, the Democrats are wicked on the face. The Republicans like their wickedness in their heart. That's where your wickedness is. It's hidden away, tucked away. Actually, we see it. Your slip is showing now. But anyway.
Now, this is interesting, and I hadn't thought about it this way, but I think that there's some truth to what he just said. There's some truth to what he just said. So if
I didn't even know Rod Parsley is around anymore, man. That guy, last time I saw him was like 20 years ago.
Yeah. But
he's a prosperity preacher.
Yeah, but this business about the liberals versus the conservatives, or the Republicans versus the Democrats. So the Democrats, their sin is on the outside. You know, they're showing you it, right? Right. But for the Republicans, they keep it on the inside. That's an interesting way to frame that, because of course, you know, I think that they're all human beings, and all have sinned. A little bit more complex.
I think he's saying like the trends and all this stuff is just out in the open and in your face, and then you got kind of like the Dick Cheneys of the world, which are doing all their secret stuff in the background. You don't really know what it is. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right. Okay, let's keep going.
Your hypocrisy aside, your politics aside, the real issue is that you have been faking black preachers so long. You have been faking black worship, black way of church, shouting, speaking in tongues, and black mannerisms for so long that you feel entitled to tell blacks and minorities how they need to think and how they need to vote and what they need to do. And you have accidentally developed white savior syndrome.
Everybody's loyal to leadership until they tell you something you don't want to hear.
See, this is the deepest, hardest type of manipulation, because it is a lie with the fragrance of the truth. The truth is, we are in a generation that hates reproof, that hates rebuke, that hates to be told the truth. And because of that truthful statement, we apply it to the lie of saying that people are leaving your ministry because they don't like reproof. No, y'all nasty. Y'all talk to people crazy. People are waking up and saying that we're not going to be treated like children anymore. And that offends you, that people are daring to think for themselves instead of just shut up and giving your money. Unfortunately, we're dealing with another young lady in the church who has been destroyed by her father. She has lived off of your tithes, lived off of your offering, lived off of your giving, and the pampered princess is at the place where she's offended that you would dare to think for yourself. She needs more Prada. She needs more Chanel. How dare you stand up and take your money away from me? You're standing in the way of my golden goose and my golden ticket. Give me your money, you reprobates. And she is so confused that she thinks that she actually did something in ministry. Honey, ain't nobody paying attention to you because you good. They paying attention to you because of who your daddy is. Shut up and sit down. You didn't build nothing in ministry. These people have a right to think for themselves, and if they don't want to be around you, they don't have to be around you. I'm Pastor Ray Curry of The Unction. Please follow us here. Also follow us on our YT channel that is also called The Unction, where we have commentary about things that happen in the church that need to be uprooted, that need to be changed, so that God's people can get clean and ready for the return of the King. Thank you.
So is this demographic, his crowd mostly or half black or mostly black or what? Rod Parsley?
There's a lot of black folks. There's a lot of black folks. Let's put it this way.
I kind of believe it.
And if you look at the musicians and the style of music that they do, the choir, the pigment, the usual pigment of the folks, up there doing the music stuff is black folks.
It's kind of interesting because I remember, and this maybe you can just tell me what you think of this. I had a Asian pastor come to America, and we were trying to raise money for building churches over in his country. And we were like going around to different churches. We went to these like richer churches, and We went to one I was going to, as like a Nazarene church, and like the guy said, yeah, you can go up front, you can talk. And then at the last minute, he says, no, you can't do anything, and just totally shut the door on us, even though after he already told us he would help us. Then we went to other churches, and we couldn't get anybody to really help us. And we went to this one church in the inner city, a poor church, and that was the church that gave us the most money. I was like, what the heck? What's going on here? I'm like, this is weird. You go to the rich church, no one gives you money. You go to the poor church and everybody gives you money. I'm like, so that actually kind of makes sense. Like, I think that they're more giving, maybe because they know how it is to be have no money, and they understand. It's like, it's kind of like in the parable, or not the parable, the story in Jesus, the widow's mite, where she gave the most because she had no money and she gave everything, right? So like people that are poor understand that more. You know what I mean? They're willing to give more, I think, sometimes. And maybe he's taking advantage of that. Maybe Rod Parsley's taking advantage of that kind of mindset. You know what I mean? Those that have had it harder understand they have to, sometimes they understand more like the difficulty or whatever. And maybe he's like manipulating those people. Rod Parsley is.
Yeah. I don't know if I played it on our show. I might have played it on our show. There was some audio. There's audio, like somebody audio recorded one of their staff meetings, and he's like berating folks, and he's like telling them that they not worth nothing and all kinds of stuff in that meeting. It's like,
well, that sounds really nice. Kind of toxic.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you that one of the issues with these churches is they prop up these pastors, and these pastors just, they get so much power, and people have been blowing smoke up their butt for so long that they think they actually are great, and they are worthy of being treated
like
better
Kenneth
than
Copeland.
everyone else. So,
like Kenneth Copeland, he's like a billionaire. That dude just like, he brags about it, like, and he's got the worst doctrine ever too. Like, he's just really bad doctrine, basically comparing himself to Jesus and how Jesus was a failure and stuff. Like, really, dude? Like, how do these people get so much money? I don't understand how some people can listen to these people, right? Like, I think it's because they tell them that you'll make money if you give me money. I think that's their main thing they do. Like, give me money and God will give you money back. It's like this. It's like a scheme or something, right?
I have to tell you, man, this stuff is so. It is so. It's just so terrible. And it makes me feel it. I'm glad I'm out of that.
That's what the elite are doing. That's what the elite are doing with this inflation. Is the same thing. They look at us like we're just little cogs to take advantage of. I feel like it's the same kind of mindset, except for it's just not a church. It's the world doing it. You will own, of course, nothing, and at the same time be happy. Yeah, they just want you broke and dumb and not know what's going on and ignorant, right? So that's what they're trying to do to us.
All right, man. Well, I don't have anything else. I think we had a good show.
Yeah, that was good, man. Talked about a lot of stuff.
All right. Well, we will see you next
time. I think we
time.
kind of undid the shadowing of our stream there a little bit. We got it up a little bit higher.
A little bit. Well, we'll see.
They're trying, man. They're trying.
But I always get more view. Like, the video tends to perform well for like the next about day and a half, and
yeah.
That's about when it caps out in number of views. So yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you all later, and have a good evening.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Peace.